August 1st, 2025. 98 years since the founding of the People's Liberation Army. Across China, red banners wave and parades march beneath the summer haze. In Beijing, speeches echo with pride, promising strength and renewal. But behind the celebration, another message is taking shape. Not in words, but in motion. A video released by state media. Dramatic, polished, deliberate. A Chinese Z-10 attack helicopter streaks low across the Taiwan Strait, sunlight flashing off its rotors. Ahead of it, a U.S. Navy MH-60R Seahawk, call sign Romeo, patrols steady, unshaken. Two machines, two nations. One message, dominance. The timing is no coincidence. On the PLA's anniversary, Beijing wants the world to see confidence and control. But the real question isn't who flies closer. It's who holds the upper hand. The encounter, 3:10 p.m. local time. The sky is gray, humid, visibility poor. At 500 meters altitude, the Z-10 cuts sharply across the Romeo's nose, a reckless, showy pass. Inside the American helicopter, the crew stays calm, eyes on their instruments. Then, through the radio, foreign military aircraft, you are approaching Chinese territorial waters. Alter your course immediately. But the coordinates are clear. 50 nautical miles from China's coast. International airspace. The Americans don't respond. They don't need to. Because this flight isn't routine, it's strategic. Below the waves, a Chinese Type 039 submarine has surfaced after 48 hours submerged, forced up to recharge batteries. The Romeo is here to track it, to listen, to learn. The real mission. From Xiamen Air Base, a Z-10 scrambles with one order: intercept and drive the Americans away. But the U.S. crew isn't worried. They've trained for this moment. The Romeo's mission is more than surveillance. It's intelligence. Those pods mounted on the fuselage, the ALQ-210 electronic warfare suite, are already recording every frequency the Z-10 emits. Radar sweeps, data links, communications chatter. Each signal is a fingerprint, each second a treasure trove. The Chinese pilot thinks he's in control, but every move, every emission, feeds directly into U.S. databases aboard ships hundreds of miles away. A live harvest of adversary systems, all without firing a single shot. Electronic dominance. The Z-10 banks left and fires off flares, a visual warning, nothing more. The Romeo answers silently, lowering its dipping sonar toward the sea. The message is subtle but unmistakable. We still see your submarine. At Chinese command, alarms go off. The sub dives too fast. Its propellers cavitate, a roar of bubbles that betray its position. Every U.S. ship in the carrier group instantly detects it. At 3:28 p.m., frustration peaks. The Z-10 locks its radar onto the Romeo. For 3 seconds, the American crew hears the shrill tone of a radar warning. Then, silence. An EEA-18G Growler roars onto the scene. Its jamming pods unleash electromagnetic chaos. The Z-10's radar screen fills with static. Phantom echoes appear and vanish. The Romeo disappears, replaced by ghosts, false targets, illusions. Outdated avionics meet modern electronic warfare and lose instantly. The tide turns now. The Z-10's threat receiver lights up like a storm. Dozens of radar locks, from destroyers, cruisers, aircraft, all painting him at once. Everyone a reminder. You are surrounded. On the deck of the USS Theodore Roosevelt, Super Hornets launch, not to engage, but to make a point. The Romeo isn't alone. The Pacific Fleet stands behind it. The Chinese pilot panics. He switches frequencies, boosts power, reboots his radar again and again. Nothing works. His world is static, and confusion. Meanwhile, the Romeo keeps flying calm, sensors active, recording everything. Full-spectrum dominance isn't about aggression, it's about control. And the Americans have it. The dogfight that never was frustrated, the Z-10 closes the distance, just 500 meters. Close enough to see the American door gunner steady at his post, unmoved. The Z-10's 23mm cannon gleams beneath the sunlight. Powerful, but crude. Designed for ground attack, not dogfights. Across the way, the Romeo's GAU 21.50 caliber machine gun rests ready. Stable, precise, deadly out to 2 kilometers. If this were a real duel, it would last seconds. Each aggressive maneuver from the Z-10 bleeds airspeed, overheats hydraulics. The Romeo stays level, built on a Black Hawk chassis, designed for endurance. The Chinese pilot is fighting not just his opponent, but his own machine. The Dada harvest, while the Z-10 struggles, the Romeo quietly gathers gold. Every radar pulse, every temperature spike, every change in speed is captured and stored. Maximum turn rate, 20 degrees per second. Climb rate, 12 meters per second. Exhaust temperature, 450 degrees Celsius. Each figure becomes an entry in the U.S. military's vast threat database. Every frequency becomes a blueprint for future jamming and countermeasures. Even voice comms are intercepted, their frequency-hopping pattern mapped and decoded. After 70 minutes, warning lights flash across the Z-10's cockpit. Systems overheat. Hydraulics strain. The pilot has no choice but to turn back. Below, the submarine remains tracked and pinned. The Romeo never wavered. No weapons fired. And yet, total victory. The lesson. When the Z-10 lands back at Xiamen, the pilot reports success. But Beijing's command knows better. The encounter meant to show dominance instead exposed weakness. Because in the age of digital warfare, power isn't measured in missiles or armor. It's measured in data. Networks, algorithms, awareness. The United States didn't just win the encounter, it turned it into a harvest. Every radar ping, every transmission, every mistake feeding the systems that will outmatch these very weapons next time. This is what modern deterrence looks like. You don't have to shoot to win. You just have to know more, see more, and act first. Epilogue. August 1st was meant to be a day of pride for China's military, a celebration of history and strength. Instead, it became a quiet lesson in the realities of 21st century conflict. Encounters like this don't make front-page news. They unfold in silence, above gray seas, under constant surveillance. But they shape the future more than any parade ever could. So, who really held the upper hand? Not the pilot who flew closer, not the one who shouted louder, but the one who understood the battle long before it began. August 1st, 2025, the day China tried to send a warning, and the United States recorded the whole thing. Thanks for watching. What do you think? Deterrence or provocation? Leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dive analysis.